Welcome. This is Impact 20 Perspectives. And as always, for those of you who have been here before, remember you can type in your questions and your comments into the comment section, and we will address them as they pop up. And today, just like normally, we will jump right into the topics. I'm gonna put the topic to us, but we have a guest with us, and I'm gonna go ahead and say what the topic is, and then we're gonna hop right into it. All right. For those of you who don't know, this is a story that happened a little while ago, and we just need to talk about it, get perspective on it. March 2nd, well, February 28th. Former UFC two-time champ Cain, I don't know how to say his name, so I'm going to say the best I can. Velasquez went and followed a gentleman named Harry Gutar, who was suspected of molesting his family member, 4-year-old family member. And what Cain Velasquez did was he followed the gentleman for 11 miles, eventually saw him, got out and shot towards him with his gun towards his vehicle. He was then arrested for premeditated attempted murder. And so what was done was basically what people do is he went out for revenge because his 4-year-old relative was molested by this person who worked at the daycare that the child was going to. And so as I bring Will on, I'm going to ask the question, as we all ask, and the question which is, is how do you feel about what Cain Velasquez did? Some people are like, "Oh man, that's what you're supposed to do, man." Somebody, touch your family member, like you got to come at them. And some people, the law is the law. That's what it's wrong. You don't seek revenge. As adults, as people who've been around the block for a while, how do you feel about what he did? And you were able to hear the story, correct?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about, okay, the dude molested his child in school and he went up there and shot at the guy?
Yeah, he shot at him. And this is two-time, this is a famous guy, two-time UFC champion. He went up and he shot at him. 39-year-old Cain Velasquez, and he went and shot at Harry Gutierrez because he reportedly molested one of his family members, a 4-year-old at a preschool. And some people have condemned him, and many people have supported him. Where do you come in on that?
I'm all support.
Mm-hmm.
I have a rule myself. Was weird is if you jump my kid, I add the ages up, and they add over 18. I'm gonna fight you like a grown man. So a grown man molesting my child, he definitely gonna get it. That's why I have a big backyard and big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You just gonna go missing. Think you handled it wrong. You shot him. You a UFC fighter. You should just beat him up. But I support him.
Yeah, and one of the topics and the question of what people are saying is, basically the idea of sacrificing your own life. He's now facing 10 years in prison.
He ain't gonna get 10 years
for what he was accused of doing. And so, especially for you and me, we put ourselves in our situations where we are people who got kids.
I'm facing 20 to life.
But we would have to, in order for us to do something like that, we would actually be sacrificing time with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? Like in that sense, where you're like, oh man, what people will say to you, you can't do this stuff to somebody else because now you're taking away time and opportunity from you being a parent to your child.
Well, he just did it too sloppy. That's the difference between me and him. If they wouldn't have found out, they just would have never found him again. You know, he did it out of impulse. He should have strategically did it right instead of just going to shoot at some place. But I mean, how can I put this? You have mentally scarred my child for the rest of his life. I have the right to mentally scar you for the rest of your life. That's just how I feel.
Right. And so, you know,
That's my
where does the
child.
line
You know what I'm
draw
saying? I've raised
where
my
we
child.
should?
My son's a preemie, so I was there for 6 weeks in the hospital for him. You think I'm gonna let another man molest them and think I'm not gonna do anything? I'm not being a parent then. That's what we're here for. I'm not gonna let the law take care of it.
And that's the conversation of the hard topic is where's the line drawn where we should allow the law to do things. The reason that
I
this
don't let the
topic is
law do
important,
anything for us.
the reason that this topic is important because it goes into the broader scope of not just this situation, but all of these situations where we see what we've talked about constantly on here is police violence. We've talked about constantly on here about how Black people are treated, or even just people in general are treated by the police. And so, where is the line drawn? Because what we don't see is a lot of retaliation. Like we don't see people coming back. There was just a report of a Black man who was held down by the police and then shot in the back of the head, just because he was resisting arrest, but he was unarmed and shot point blank in the back of the head and murdered. At what point is it we let the law play out, or where's the point of we kind of seek out our own justice? Like, when do you feel like it's time? Like, I see in this case, you're like, okay, it's time to seek out your own justice. Is that always the case, or when do we?
Yeah, that's always the case.
You feel like
That's always the case for me. Yeah. Too many people have got through the crack of the system to let the system handle it, especially if you have money and power or know somebody. When you get to that type of junk, it's who you know, how much money you have. That person, if he had a lot of money, he could lawyer up and might find a way to get a small plea deal where he go to a low-level custody place and never had to deal with anybody. No, forget that. He molested my child who's 4 years old. You got to pay. Like, at that point, I'm not being a parent if I let someone molest my child. That's how I feel.
Right.
As a parent.
And so what about those people who say that there's room for, if you take matters, if we all start taking matters in our own hand, we start to self-police. And many of us, especially in our community, we talk about self-policing. And then people come back and they say things like, well, we need to have, if we self-police, that doesn't leave room for redemption. That doesn't leave room for people who made mistakes who should be able to come back from that. What would you say to them?
Redemption. I mean, what's the difference between me taking it and the courts taking it? In my opinion, if you look at a court is 10 to 12 of normal people jury. What's different from me just taking a jury on my own?
Yeah.
We need to start policing ourselves because here's my thing: the police don't work for colors. I had to say it like that. They don't work. They work against us. Why am I going to use you? People, you call a cop and you live in a nice neighborhood. Most cops think you don't even live there. So I'm gonna ask you to come defend me? No, I'll take care of myself.
Yeah. So that's one of the more popular. Well, not more popular. That's a view that's gaining steam right now. It's this view of like self-policing, everybody kind of putting in and doing your own thing. Now we're gonna talk about it from a religious standpoint because you have different religions, but basically all of them sum up in the same concept of not doing an eye for an eye, but allowing for some grace, some mercy, some allowing for patience, slow to anger, not exacting revenge. When you think about that in the grand scheme of things, so you think about all the different religions where people are usually there's some extreme, but usually are saying you shouldn't exact revenge. How do you get it with that?
I'm the wrong person to say that. I'm going revenge. I'm going revenge. I'm the wrong person to say that. I mean, that's my child. You know what I'm saying? That's my child. Like, before you're molesting a child, you're a sick individual. You shouldn't be on this earth. That's how I feel. You should get stoned to death. Like, come on, man, you're molesting a 4-year-old child? Something mentally, there's something wrong with you. You don't deserve to be here.
All right, so there's a difference between alleged and definite proof. Now that's a good question. Now,
Hey, Pop. Hey, Mr. Watkins.
If we do street justice, which I understand what you're saying, I 100% understand. What about the scenarios where people are wrong? I'll give you a good example. And I know you remember this. And this was a long time ago. This was over 15 years ago. There was the Duke lacrosse team, and there was this young lady who said that she was a stripper at a party.
She got raped.
And she said that the Duke lacrosse at a party for the Duke lacrosse team, and the stripper was black, and the Duke lacrosse players, they were white. And she had claimed that she went to the party and that they had I don't know what they did. I don't know if they raped her or molested her or they did all these bad things to her. And she had claimed that all this stuff happened. And Al Sharpton went down there and protested, and a lot of people went down there and protested. Come to find out, she was lying.
Was she lying, or was she pressured to say she was lying?
Nah,
so that's the thing. That's the thing I didn't like about that Duke jump. Was she lying, or was she pressured to say she was lying to let some of them Duke white people not go to prison?
But the point of what I'm saying though is, what happens when you think you know, and then we react, but then we get it wrong? You know what I mean? Like, let's say for the sake of the argument that she was lying, but that was like our cousin or something like that. We went down there and we done hurt a couple of them Duke guys.
Pause.
Are you still there?
All right, I'm back. Yeah, you froze. Yeah.
Okay. No, I think that was on my side. But yeah, at that point, we go out here and we get our revenge, but then we wrong. What do?
We apologize. That's what the cops do. I mean, the cops do that all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, my bad.
You know what? That is an extremely good point, because that's exactly
that's exactly what the cops do.
That is it. And they, matter of fact, forget the apology. They don't even apologize. They sit back and they be like, "Whoops," and that maybe you'll get some money out of the situation.
Maybe my mistake deters the next person of doing it. How about that?
Count here. Have you ever been falsely accused?
Yes. I'm black in America. I'm always been falsely accused.
Yeah, and same thing. I think. I mean, that's a good point though, because how do you feel? I know I've been falsely accused. I mean, it is the most frustrating thing in the world when somebody is like they swear they're like, I know you did something. Yeah, I definitely have. And the same thing to you. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
is that
I know this. The world is, we in an imperfect world. I understand. That's the thing, False. I understand what your father's saying, but a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had proof or not, but all my child had to tell me if somebody messing with me, and I'm handling it that way. Now, should he went down there and shoot people? No. I think guns are for cowards, especially your UFC fight. I didn't get that part. Like, what are you shooting at somebody for? Where you could just ground and pound on them. Now you're going to jail for a while. He's at least gonna do a couple years, because you can't shoot at nobody and just get away with it.
Yeah. He
You're just not gonna do that. You're gonna do sometime. You might get some sympathy from your courts, but you gotta do sometime. Yeah. Shooting an occupied dwelling, you gotta do something.
And there's been an overpouring of people who feel the same way as you, and feel the same. Honestly, it feels the same way as most of us. Most of us here, we all feel the same way. Like, somebody does something to one of our family members, that gives us the right to go out and exact revenge. That's the struggle. That is the struggle for all of us of what is right and what is wrong. Like, we know
the problem with society. The problem with society now is, especially for African Americans, you are guilty until proven innocent. You're no longer innocent until proven guilty. So why is it, if that's how I had to be dealt with in my entire life, Why is it different when it happens to someone else? As a black man now, even like the people touch the whole Deshaun Watson thing, they look at him like he's guilty, which he's not. They're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but nowadays you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. No, I think it's an interesting point because of the fact that we know what we want to do, feeling wise and emotion wise, and then we, like you said, you look at the results, and it's hard for me. I sit back here, I look at what happened to Breonna Taylor. I look back here what happened to George Floyd. I look what happened to
people justify the George Floyd thing. Well, he was a criminal, so what's it got to do with someone murdering him in front of people?
Right. And I look at what happened to the countless people, and you sit back and you're like, man, I don't, you don't understand how, more violence isn't happening. Like how people are not coming after these cops. And I will say that I think that it's people trying to do the right thing. I don't know if it's either, it could be two things. One, they're scared and they don't want to do anything. Or two, it's people doing the right thing, which is you're not supposed to exact the revenge. You don't supposed to go out here. But I do think that one of the reasons that things do keep going on is because there is no healthy fear of people. A cop knows if he does something bad, at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna come in his house and do anything. So
it's not gonna change if that happens.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change if that happens.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's that may be a reality, even though that's not the right thing to do. Even though you're going to pay,
it's going to end up taking that.
Go ahead.
It's going to end up taking that to happen, or you go for the money. A simple solution is if you kill somebody, take $250 out the pension. I guarantee you, it'll be less killings. You start going after their money, you start going after their pension because you're killing innocent people. There's no consequence for me. Yeah. There's no consequence for like the lady who was it the young lady who shot the guy to say she thought it was a taser. She's only getting 18 years. 18 months. I think it's only like 7, and then supervise another on home. Attack their money. Less shootings. Police are a union. They have a pension plan. They have every time you kill somebody, $250 coming out that pension. I guarantee you less shoots will happen.
I think you were on it with that one. Because at the end of the day, all the money that gets paid out when there are these suits, that comes from the city.
Yeah, make it come out their pension.
Or the locale.
Stop letting the city stop. We're as taxpayers are paying for the damages that the cops do. We should stop doing that. Every time you do something, take it out their pension. Take it out their retirement. I promise you, they'll stop killing black folks. I promise you, they'll stop killing anybody. You start attacking the pension?
Yeah. No, I look. I think you're right. I think you are absolutely right on that one. It is. It's about that money. It's about that money, and it's about for a lot of people, it's if you attack that money, especially that retirement, like you attack that pension, they gonna pause before they ended up.
They're gonna pause. Man, I was gonna shoot the guy, but hey, man, I need my pension. So I just.
No, I do. It make you think twice. It's so important because right now, if you shoot someone, you get a free vacation. You get to be put on paid leave. So you at the house chilling, getting a check. For most people, you'd be like, man, I need to go shoot somebody so I can get some time off. So you're right. If it's the opposite, where you shoot somebody and you found to be in the wrong.
Not just you're not gonna have a job, you ain't gonna have a pension because we taking that $250,000 out of your pension. And I'm not talking about a single pension. I'm talking about that whole. Pause again.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that individual pension. I'm talking about that whole precinct.
Yeah.
It's coming out y'all pension.
That's a great
point. Not that
one
person, man, it's coming out y'all pension. Y'all can start policing each other.
Yep. Yep. Nah, man, you might have solved it right there. That's that is because for me that's one of the main things.
Simple
Like they don't
solution.
police each other.
Simple solution.
Mm-hmm.
My man shoots somebody, it got to come out of my pension. Ain't nobody getting shot no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, because
I ain't gonna
if
just be that person's pension. It's gonna be your whole precinct. Yeah, we taking $250 out y'all pension. What? Yeah. All y'all got to suffer. Yeah, that deter anybody else from getting shot. And there's a difference between someone protecting themselves. But like you said, the guy was resisting, you shoot him in the back of the head. Or a guy's grabbing for a wallet to show you have a concealed weapons permit.
Mm-hmm. We got another comment. If a police officer kills someone, particularly someone unarmed, they should cease to be a police officer and be responsible for the damages.
I believe that too.
Mm-hmm.
And should still go against that pension. Because I guarantee you, one of his partners could have said, hey, man, chill out. But he didn't. Yeah. He allowed it to happen.
Yeah. And that's a key one there, particularly someone unarmed. Because that's the part that gets me,
Not just unarmed. Armed too. If I'm not shoot, if I have a weapon, I have the right. That's why I'm saying I tell people this. I had a concealed weapons permit. It is overrated. For the simple fact that every time you get pulled, it comes up if that car is registered in your name. And I'm just saying my experience. Mm-hmm. I would have to wait till the other cop comes, and I got one coming from this side, one coming from the other side. Gun already on the hands, already on the gun, looking to shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and that's one of the things we've had people on here who really advocate for people having guns, especially Black people having guns. But that's one of the points that you really have to think about. That as they know when you have a gun.
They do know when they're
gun. It makes you an additional target on top of who you already are. And I think that's something that people miss sometimes. That's a good point that you brought up. Really good.
Especially if you got a concealed weapons permit. It pop up on anything that you own. Mm-hmm. And 6'4" Black man. It's gonna come up. Concealed weapons permit. Uh-oh. Let me call back up.
Yeah. No, see, that's
I own a big dog. I don't even own a gun. I own a big dog. That's what I own.
Well, cool. Well, time is moving on us, and for some reason, apologize to everybody who's watching that we get this strange internet connection going on today. But yeah, this the reason we brought this up, or the reason we had to discuss this today, is because that's one of the questions. It's about revenge. It's about our responsibilities and our roles as human beings towards each other. We know good and well that bad things are going to happen sometimes to people, and we really got to sit back and decide, like, what are we going to do? Are we going to allow the system to work? Are we going to allow whatever guides our principles? So for many of us, as Christian individuals, we gotta. Where is it that our faith draws us? Are we gonna be able to sit back and let the system do it, or are we going to seek revenge? And that's not an easy thing either way. Whatever the decision is going to be. And so it's something that we need to talk about, because it's something we need to think about. Because at some point in time, every person at some point in time in their life feels like they need to, get some revenge. So, yeah. So, Will, man, I appreciate you jumping on with us. To everyone, I appreciate you tuning in, watching. I appreciate all the comments. We'll be back here next week, same as today, same time, same place. And this is Impact 2022. Everybody